For 5 years, the same book stood on my nightstand, and my mother would tell me to read, but every single day I went to bed, I didn't even acknowledge it. And it turns out that she was right. So why didn't I listen? I thought I was stubborn. I thought I was so stubborn, but I think it was just something else. You see, when I used to just be a kid, I would lay in bed and watch YouTube shorts a lot. I would, just scroll past, and the book on my nightstand didn't really matter to me. I had the goal of retiring my mother so that she could never have to work another job in her life. And so my goal was to become the best YouTuber there was. And the thing is that books in this case weren't really that important for me. I thought, why should I read the book? This has nothing to do with what I'm doing. I'm just learning how to do YouTube through video editing and such. So I'm just learning through videos and through working my way around. And no matter how many times my mother would tell me to read this book, Think and Grow Rich, such a lovely book, just standing on my nightstand there, I didn't even pick it up. When I would, every once in a blue moon, I would open up the book, read the opening, the intro, something, and then I would close it because I wasn't really interested. And when I tried to read, I could barely read one page before putting it back down. So a lot of my mother's advice I just ended up ignoring because I thought I was stubborn. But that was until something very bad happened that forced me to change. You see, when I went on vacation to South Africa, I ended up breaking up with my first ever girlfriend. And as I'm crying there and literally thinking about my future, I realized just how stuck I was with my habits of watching YouTube shorts, procrastinating with my time, and not understanding what I wanted. So I thought to myself, I self actualized, and I decided to become a millionaire. I wanted to make $1 million per month, or yeah, something like that. And then I would finally be happy, or something like that. It would change my mindset. But I never could have imagined how that simple shift in identity and goal would somehow drive me to read the book Think and Grow Rich. I was on vacation and I picked up this book. I brought it actually with me. When I was with my first relationship, I actually did read a little bit because she liked to read, and so I also wanted to read a bit. But I only read for one page a night before flipping, 1 or 2 pages. I couldn't read more. But now I could suddenly read for 15 minutes. I sat down in the sun in South Africa, after I'd broken up. It was still tough, but I would put a timer for 15 minutes. The sun is shining. I'm literally sitting on the chair and I'm just reading with sunglasses because the sun is shining so bright on the page. But I'm just flowing through because now the advice that my mother had given me suddenly applied, because in order to become a millionaire, Think and Grow Rich would be the perfect book, literally about successful millionaires. It literally fit perfectly with my current goal. And so once I came back home and I decided to go further into this goal, I wanted to read even more, maybe for 30 minutes, and I decided to go to the library once a week and read for hours, because I thought the more knowledge that I have and the more I learn, the better it will do. And all of a sudden, the advice that my mother was giving me, I looked at differently. Now, when my mother told me advice and when I told her that I read more books, she wasn't really upset that I didn't take her advice. She told me that I knew I wasn't ready. Then I thought about it. What does she mean I wasn't ready? But then I thought about it a little bit more. I had ignored her advice for years, never picked up a single thing from the book that she told me I was supposed to do. She wasn't really angry or, annoyed with it. She just accepted it. And then I thought about it. Wait, sometimes the best thing that we can do is to live our life and learn the lesson the hard way. I was going through a breakup, I had learned my lesson, and then all of a sudden I started to read. So it literally clicked. It was because of the goal change, the identity change. I wasn't really stubborn because I didn't want to listen to my mother, or that I just didn't see her as the person that was worth listening to. No, no, no. I really respect my mother so much, but I simply wasn't ready for the lesson that could be told. It had to be experienced. I think that the book or books didn't change my life. Books helped me experience the life that I've already lived. And when I realized that, I understand exactly why my mother wanted me to read. Because if I wouldn't have, I would never have gotten to the point that I am. So if you right now are struggling to stop watching YouTube shorts, or want to pick up your study books, your other books, you want to start to read, sometimes it really cannot be you cannot gain knowledge on how to read books. You cannot be told, you cannot really, how would I say it? Somebody cannot tell you what to do and what advice until you have experienced it for yourself, where all of a sudden you realize for yourself, oh my God, actually now I need to read books. It will align, whatever books it is, in whatever genre, it will align with your new goals. It doesn't have to be self-improvement. It can be anything, but you will start to read books once it aligns with your new goals. Because as a gaming YouTuber, I had no reason to read books. Because if you do not read books, or if you do not take advice, for example, you may not end up thinking that you're stubborn, when in reality, you really aren't less ready for the lesson that has to be experienced. And you will end up going through life thinking you don't listen to people because you're a bad person. And you will end up ignoring advice that will really change your life, but realize that it's not the people themselves necessarily that will change your perspective of the goal that you need. It is the life that you experience that will make their advice suddenly important. And if you do all of that, your life will be so much better, because then you'll go upwards this trend where you listen more to people, you're more open-minded to their advice, you read more, because the more close-minded you are and the more stubborn, which you probably aren't. Sometimes maybe I am stubborn still, but I still am stubborn sometimes, but I really do take advice more often. If you are way more open-minded, you will gain so many more perspectives, so much more knowledge, because knowledge is power, and it really is such a blessing that I went through something so negative in order to realize this. And that is the lesson that I wanted to say today. So, books didn't change my life. they helped me understand the experience that I had already lived. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.